Okay. Hello, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our first virtual event of the season, Core Member Q&A. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes. We still have some folks who are joining our call, so we're going to give them a chance to join us today. But before we get rolling, we do have a chat box at the top of your screen. Feel free to click on that and share with us your name and where you're going to be serving with us this year. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. For those who just joined, we're going to get started in a couple minutes. But we'd love to hear from you. There is a chat box at the top of your screen, so please feel free to click that and share your name and where you're going to be serving with us this year. All right, we got Dallas, Boston, Columbus, Ohio, Chicago. Welcome, y'all. Alrighty, lots of folks from DC. Welcome, Denver. Cool. I think I think we're just ready to get started. There may be folks joining the call as we continue chatting, but they can catch up. So welcome everyone to our first virtual event of the season, Core Member Q&A. We're super excited to have you joining us this year in service. Pretty soon you'll get to chat with some currently serving core members. But let's start off by introducing the hosts of this call. Alrighty, so hello, my name is Molly McCormack. I am the National Onboarding Counselor for Los Angeles and Sacramento. I'm super excited to host the panel portion of today's call, and I love that I am joined by my amazing colleagues who I will let them go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tiffany Lejean. I'm the onboarding counselor for New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and New York City.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cassidy. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm the onboarding counselor for Buffalo, New York, Columbus, Ohio, Kansas City, Missouri, and Columbia, South Carolina. So glad y'all are here.
Okay, so we'll be taking care of y'all today. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we can expect for today's call. So we have an amazing panel of 3 core members from 3 different sites. They'll get to introduce themselves in just a minute. We have some prepared questions that we're excited to ask. However, we also want to hear what questions you all have and want to propose to them as well. So while we're chatting, you can go ahead and take a look at the Q&A button at the top of your screen. And if you have like burning questions that you want to make sure that we ask, go ahead and type your question in there as we're speaking. Once we're done with that panel portion, we'll go ahead and move to some open Q&A where we'll take a look at your questions. However, if you do want to like wait until the panel is done to see if our folks answer your question already, that's okay too. We'll still save some time at the end for folks to like jump into that Q&A channel and pose their questions. Just to keep things organized, we do ask that you post all of your questions in that Q&A channel so that we can see everything in one place and hopefully nothing gets lost. So yes, please use that Q&A function instead of the chat. Lots of folks have been sharing, their names and like where they're serving. So feel free to like share with us as well in the chat as we talk as well. Just as some general advice, we'd love for you to turn your camera on so we can see your face. Not required, of course, but we love to see it. And just keep in mind, every site is slightly different. While we're all here to serve our students, just know that no same like city or site operates exactly the same way. And of course, no core member has like the exact same experience. So just keep in mind, our core members will be speaking to their experience at their own particular site. If this leads you to have like questions about what is unique about your particular site, if it's not represented in today's call, we're going to share the contact information for our national onboarding counselors so that you can connect with them afterwards and you can get your questions answered. Okay, I believe next we're going to meet our core members. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to just go ahead and close our PowerPoint and spotlight our panel members. I'm going to get my notes ready for a second. Okay. Kudos to Tiffany for teaching us all how to use Microsoft Teams as a webinar instead of Zoom for the first time. So please send kind thoughts to Tiffany. Cool. Okay, we have our panel here. We are ready. So now that our hosts have introduced themselves, I would love for y'all to introduce yourselves, share with us your name, your position, and what city you're serving in. Who wants to go first?
I can go first. My name is Beatrice. I go by B. I'm a first-year core member serving at City Year Sacramento.
I could go next. So my name is Chrislyn Hills. I go by Chrissy. My position, I'm a second year, and I'm currently serving at the Baton Rouge site.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kat. I'm a team leader serving in Kansas City.
Awesome. Welcome, and thanks y'all for being here to chat with our core members for today. If we want to go ahead and dive right into our panel questions, I'm going to ask a very serious, very important icebreaker question. What is your favorite snack at the moment?
For me, I would definitely say kettle corn popcorn. I've been eating that a lot lately.
For me, I've just recently discovered all the snacks at Trader Joe's. People have told me to go, and I went. I found these okra chips, and I'm really obsessed with them. So that's my favorite snack at the moment.
My favorite snack is also popcorn, but not kettle corn. I'm not a fan.
All right. We got a mix of salty and sweet, and double click on Trader Joe's. That is a great reason to get core members to serve at a California site. But I do want to be respectful to other folks who are here. So yeah, let's dive into our next question. Might be a little challenging, but we would love to hear, what has been the most challenging aspect of service for you? Well, I'll let y'all chat. Yeah, what has been the most challenging part?
I can go. For me, I think the most challenging part is learning how to not do a lot. Like, I know that I want to help everyone I can, and sometimes I feel like I might overextend and do maybe things that are not particularly what we're supposed to do, not in like a bad way, but like wanting to help like we have a student store here, so sometimes I'll see something and I know that the kids will really like, and I might want to like get it for them and put it in the store. And I know we're supposed to in kind and things like that. It's really hard for me not to want to like spoil the kids. So I think that's like one of the challenging things because I really love like working with them, and I love when they do good stuff. Like I give them stickers and things like that. So I think like trying to not give a lot to them is kind of challenging for me.
I think for me, I would say the most challenging part of service has been learning to think on my feet, because unexpected things are going to happen during the day, and you're just going to have to think up a new way of approaching something, um, in the moment. You're not, sometimes it just requires thinking on your feet.
I would say my most challenging aspect of serving would be probably becoming a second year, because it's more responsibility, on your shoulders. So, um, it's been rough, but I got through it. So yeah, like it's just a lot of responsibility and stuff that you're not used to as a ACM, but it's definitely a good role.
Yeah, definitely important to learn some boundaries with students. I know, I think something that connects all of us to service is wanting to give back, and it's important for us to like take a step back and make sure we're not like pouring too much than we can out of our own cup. Definitely feel thinking on your feet as well. No school day is going to be exactly the same, and yeah, y'all do have the opportunity to come back for another year of service. The stipend is higher. It'll come with some added responsibility. But a lot of core members tend to apply and find that it's worth it and love being with their students again. So uh, if y'all are thinking about staying with City Year for more than 1 year, highly encourage you to think about that. Okay, so now that we've chatted about some of the challenges, what has been the most rewarding aspect of service for y'all?
For me, I'd have to say seeing the progress of the kids that I help, knowing that like when I first started, their scores weren't maybe where they needed to be, and seeing them increase and get better throughout the year, especially kids that are in the groups that I help tutor, to see them improve over the school year is something really rewarding. Like I sometimes, you know, they ask us, uh, do you see yourself helping them, and have you seen the progress? And sometimes I question it, but when I actually see like the numbers going up, I'm like, wow, I really am making a difference, and I really am helping these kids improve in their studies. So I can say that it's very rewarding.
I was gonna say something similar. Um, Working with the kids is just really rewarding. Even if it's not a score increase, watching them in class, watching their behavior change in a positive direction. If you have a student who, sat in class not doing anything and they start taking notes halfway through the year, and it's a student you work with, it feels like a really big accomplishment. And I'm a second year as a team leader, and I came back to work with the kids again, um, because they are just really great and they're funny. They're fun to be around. So,
I'm gonna have to agree with both of them because the children has been one of the most rewarding things about being part of City, just to be that person they wake up to each day. And students, I could be gone for a minute doing something else and they looking for me. So it's just rewarding to like be part of their day and, you know, making a difference in their lives.
For sure, y'all. Whether it's their grades, whether their behavior changes, and just them being who they are day to day. Our students are amazing to work with. So I'm glad that has been, you know, a rewarding aspect of service for y'all and that you've chosen to highlight that. Cool. So do y'all have any general tips or just advice for incoming Corps members who are preparing for their service year?
I do. This is something that I kind of learned as a first year, which is don't kind of come in full speed. We work long hours and we do a lot. And honestly, if you go in every day at, like 200%, you might burn yourself out too fast. It's not, bad to sit there and want to come in every single day and do extra, but sometimes just you gotta learn how to be able to take a break, fill up your cup, and really like take a day off and like have some me time, because sometimes it can be a lot. And especially for me, learning that even when I have the days off and I didn't take them, I could tell that I was just wearing down. So learning to really um, have some time, some self-allotted time is one thing that I would say.
I would say something similar, just we do work long hours and they're busy days. I think finding a way to find some kind of balance between working in the school and your own personal life, finding ways to take care of yourself, whether that's during the day or outside of school, is just really important so you can stay energized and give as much as you can to the school and the community.
Yeah, I had something along those lines. One thing I have learned is once your day ends at the school, your day ends. You know, don't bring it home with you, because working in the school system, you're going to see some things that will, touch your heart. And, some days might be challenging, but don't bring it home with you. Keep it at the school.
All beautiful advice, y'all. Definitely ease into it, take care of yourself. Um, we will talk about self-care throughout service, and so know that it's coming. And y'all also have 12 sick/personal days to use throughout the year. It won't affect your stipend at all, so definitely take the time y'all need to take care of yourselves. I think we can squeeze in one more question before we go to our Q&A. Yeah, how do y'all commute to work day to day, and what is that process like?
Lucky for me, I live really close to both the city or office and my school. It's just a couple, like a 10-minute bus ride. And like I have my dad's house is down the street from the office. So I'm pretty much just close to everything. I know there's a lot of other people who commute, but I'm very glad that everything is within like a walking or like a bus ride or a car ride. So
I personally live a little bit further away from my school. I am fortunate enough to have a car, so I drive in, but I do have team members. In Kansas City, the public transportation is currently free. So they will take the bus in or the streetcar in, and I know that's been really convenient and helpful for them.
And me, I actually Uber and Lyft to work every day, every morning. And I have my parent come pick me up. But also, if you have a core member or like a coworker that lives right by you, you can actually ask them, to help you with that. And some people are really willing to help.
Yeah, carpooling can definitely be popular at some sites. Depending on your site, also your school may offer like parking. Most of our sites offer your free public transportation passes. Definitely recommend folks to check in with their onboarding counselors to see what their city does. But thanks y'all for sharing your perspective. I think we can go ahead and roll into our open Q&A. This is going to be moderated by Cassidy. She's going to be fielding the questions that came up through the chat. So yeah, thanks y'all, and I'll pass it over to you, Cassidy.
Thanks, Molly, and thanks again to our wonderful panelists. I'm excited to be reviewing all of your questions in the Q&A section. We have quite a few rolling through, which I love to see. I'll just kind of be scanning through as we go through this portion, picking a few that might be most applicable to all of you, and trying to address your needs. So let's get started with the first one. What skills have you obtained when working with City Year?
For me, I would say I really didn't have any leadership experience before I came to City Year. In last year, I was actually nominated to serve on our site's core council as my team's core council rep. It's kind of like student council in that you are advocating for your team to City Year staff at your site. And then this year, I am leading core council since I'm a team leader, and I also serve on Dean's Council, which is a national council. But leadership is something that my site has a lot of opportunities for.
For me, I'd say more public speaking. I'm okay with speaking in front of people, and like I enjoy it, but I never really get to do it a lot. But at City Year, they give me a lot of opportunities to do presentations or share ideas that I came up with for tutoring or small groups. And I really do enjoy helping and talking with my core. So I think that's one thing that I improved on and kind of got to do more of.
Say public speaking. I'm a very behind the scenes type girl, but with Cydia, they force you to not say like force a negative, but they force you to, get out your shell more.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Look at you today, here. This is public speaking, and you're doing awesome. All right, another question I see. Can you tell us what age group you're currently supporting? And then also, can you tell us a little bit more about how the matching process worked? Like, how did you get matched with your current school, and how did you get matched with your current teacher?
I worked with first graders. It was more so my team. We really aren't the type to argue over anything. It was actually really hard for us to come up with who goes where because my impact manager asked us who wants to do what grade, and nobody was raising their hands, so it was kind of hard for us to choose. But I work with first grade. It's two of us in one classroom, and the school too, I went to this school as a kid, so they wanted me to come back here just because I kind of know the ins and outs of the place. And the teacher that we worked with, she had a previous City Year and she wanted another one. So they're really excited for us to go back into the classroom with her.
In Kansas City, for school placement, we do a Meet the Schools Day where we invite principals and any admin or teachers that want to come. And all of the new AmeriCorps members get to go around and talk to them, kind of ask them questions about their school. And at the end of the day, you submit like a school preference list for where you would like to be placed. For being placed with teachers, at least at my specific school, we did speed dating with all of the potential partner teachers. And after speed dating, the teachers submitted a preference list and the AmeriCorps members submitted a preference list for where they wanted to be placed and got matched up that way.
So I currently work with fourth grade. The process of how I got to how they do it at Baton Rouge, they actually have their schools already picked out, and basically like it's all based off of where you stay and how far you can travel. And how I got matched up with my teacher was basically we take a test. Basically we take a test based on like different grade levels, and from that they see like what skills are we most high in, and that's how they choose like what subject we work with, what grade we work with. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I feel like this was a really great question because it really highlights how we have city year sites across the United States and we are all doing the same sort of thing, but it shows up a little bit differently depending on the site when it comes to those specifics. So the matching process will look a little bit different. Your experience, like getting with your teacher, will be a little bit different. So we all have this common goal and common experience, but it's going to be a little bit different site to site. If you ever want to know more about what your site's like, ask your onboarding counselor. That's my little plug. Okay, next question. I've seen a few people ask this. Can you tell us more about how you budget? Like, we know that living on a stipend can be a specific way of living. Tell us all how you manage your funds, and how y'all are doing.
Again, I'm very lucky to live at home with my family, so I don't have to pay rent. They do encourage us to apply for the EBT here. So they do have someone come out and help us sign up and get that. So we're able to have extra money for food and groceries. For me, I don't really live a big life, I don't go out a lot. So I don't spend a lot of money, but I do try to save a little bit here and there. But we don't really make a lot, and California can be a little expensive. So I try to save as much as I can.
For me, I made a spreadsheet with like all the different categories that I knew would reoccur each month. So whether that was gas for my car insurance, rent, and I looked at how much I had left over. I put some into my savings and then some I'm just, is just for whatever I want. But definitely EBT is a good option. They do send out a rep here in Kansas City to help us apply for it to make that process a little bit easier.
And how I budget is basically whatever money I know I need for like bills and Ubering and lifting. I put that all in my savings, and I also have my spending money. But also, y'all, I don't know if this is for other sites, but I know here at the Baton Rouge site, we cannot leave the site, our school. So we do a lot of door dashing. So that's one problem. Like, y'all, do not door dash. Try to make your lunch at nighttime because door dashing can get very pricey.
All right, thanks, y'all. Next question here. What does a typical daily schedule look like for y'all? And I think throughout your explanation, if you could try to give also a picture of what the support structure looks like in schools, like what is a team leader, what are they there for, what's an IM, what are they there for, that would be, I think, really helpful as well.
So do you want to kind of explain like our whole, because I have like the whole schedule from 7:30 when we do our morning circle on to when we leave. So something like that.
You know, we have a little bit of time. I would advise you to like maybe hit the highlights, but it's okay if you get a little bit more specific. I think people want to know.
Okay, well, 7:30 is when our morning starts. We do our check-in, which is our morning circle. We kind of just go around, say, make sure everyone's in uniform, everyone's doing good. We do morning walk for us, so when the kids arrive at school, they're able to walk. I play the music, and I have a playlist for them, and they're able to walk around until 8 o'clock when school starts. And then throughout the day, I'm with my partner teacher. We have computer time on iReady. I help support math, so I circulate and I walk around the classroom, make sure if anyone needs help, I help them. Same with writing. We do writing. I go around help them with that as well. After school, depending on we have different teams. So here we do bulletin boards. We do recess initiatives. So one team is doing recess initiatives. One team is doing bulletin boards, and we tend to switch them around. And we have work time for that. We log who we work with throughout the day, like what students we work with, um, into the database. We have time for that. And then any other task that we need to do, whether that be at the office, we have something going on, or anything else, we have work time for that as well. That's really the highlights of day to day.
So same here. Our day starts at 7:30 for the middle school teams. We arrive. As the team leader, I lead the morning circle. I check in with everyone. We go participate in morning greetings. So the students go straight into the auditorium when they get to school, and we'll play music, say hi to the students, check in with some of them. From there, we go to advisory, and as a team leader, I'm there to support my team throughout the day. I'm there every day. The impact manager is not there every day, at least at this site. And so I'm not in a classroom, but I do carry a small focus list of students that I work with every day. So during advisory, I will go and I will pull those students out of advisory and check in with them, see how they're doing, see if they need any help. After advisory, my day gets pretty flexible. Because I'm supporting my team, I go do observations of them in the classroom. I'll have one-on-one meetings with them. We'll talk about data or what support they need. I'll plan events. I do a lot of event planning. So from there, it gets kind of flexible. In the after-school space, we have one day dedicated specifically to team bonding, and we have one day dedicated specifically to updating the data in our online data system. The other days are just whatever we need them to be, kind of catch up on work. If I need their help planning events, they help me with that. It just kind of depends. We do tutoring, like after school tutoring, on Wednesdays, but besides that, the after school space is whatever we need it to be.
For me, so we also start the day at 7:30. We do circle, checking in with each other, seeing how each other are doing. Then we go to bus duty. That's where we just, watch children get off the bus and stuff like that. Then announcements, we get to do cheers and chants. Um, and then after that is small group. Um, then after my small group, I usually just sit in the class, and walk around and see who needs help. After that, it's lunch duty. Um, Recess, back in the classroom. And then after school, we have tutoring, so I help assist with that. And also, Mondays and Wednesdays, we have this program called Girls on the Run. And so we help assist with that as well.
Awesome, thank you. So for the next question, some of the people incoming this year, as like every year, maybe don't have a ton of experience working with kids before. Can you speak a little bit about what your experience working with children was like before you entered City Year and how you've been able to navigate that skill as you've grown within the program?
For me, so this is my first time working with kids this young. I have worked with kids in the 4th and 5th grade in the past. I helped tutor after school. But I can say that someone at my site told me that the attention span of first graders are about the same as their age, and she was not wrong. So it can get a lot hectic, but honestly, as soon as they begin to trust you and really like you, it won't be as hard. Um, they'll even start to miss you if you leave early. So at first, it might be overwhelming, but honestly, as long as you just um, be patient with them, it'll come around. It may seem like a lot, but honestly, a lot of them are very sweet and they want to be your best friend.
So I had experience working with kids before I started City Year. So I was fortunate in that I felt I had skills to rely on from that. But I had never worked with middle schoolers before, and last year I was pretty nervous to work with middle schoolers because I was afraid I wouldn't connect with them. But I think just being present in their classroom, like working with them, even if they don't need help, just like checking in on them, I think is a really quick way to earn their both trust and respect. And it does get to a point in the year where like if you miss a day, they'll be like, where were you yesterday? You know, so they do miss you, even if you think they aren't going to. They do notice when you are there and when you are not. So I think staying present is something that's really important.
So I've actually been working with children since I was a child. I was basically like the family babysitter. So I've also used some of those skills to work with the children I have now. I think the only difference is you have very different students. So, I feel like I've been like, how can I put it? It's just these children specifically, they have opened my eyes a lot. Some children really go through a lot. So I think like they've really opened my heart more, and I've just been able to like connect with them on different levels. I never dealt with children rejecting me. So when I got here, some children did reject me at first, but like they were saying, you have to build trust with them in order for them to connect with you.
That's some great advice. Thank you. This next question is all about your stuff. So, is there any specific item you bring every day, such as notebook, pens, etc., that really helps you through your service?
I'm a reader, so I always bring a book, um, just so that when I have downtime, I'm during lunch or during my during my break, I just read. um, yeah, that's about it. Just I always have a book in my hand. So
Um, I always bring an extra pencil if I know I'm going to be working with kids academically, and I bring some extra paper with me. And then I also always have a mini Uno deck with me, just in case we have any downtime after I've finished working on them with their academics. It's always nice to be able to pull that out.
I would say the item that I bring every day would probably be my headphones. Sadly, I didn't bring them today, but I bring them like when I have a break. I love music, so if I'm having a bad day or just if I'm having a good day, music just always keeps me going.
I love to hear about how y'all are taking care of yourself and, incorporating that into your day. I think that is so important, especially when you're giving to others. You need to like fill your own cup too. All right, I think we just have time for one or two more questions. So I'll lead with, what is something that you wish you knew before you started City Year? So if you go back in time, think about what you thought City Year was before, what is now. What do you wish you would have known at that time?
Okay, this might kind of sound a little goofy, but I wish I knew that the California locations didn't get the red jacket. I really want a red jacket. I like the yellow, but the red looks good, and I really want a red one. I understand why we can't have one, but I'm always joking about it around the site. I'm always like, when am I gonna get a red jacket? And I know why, but yeah.
I would probably say PT. I think that was the most unexpected thing that I found out about, and I kind of wish I knew before, just so I could prepare myself for it. It's not that difficult once you get it down packed, but that most definitely caught me off guard.
I think I wish I knew exactly, like, when I started, I didn't exactly know what the hours commitment was going to be. And I think I wish I had looked at that a little bit more just so I could have been a little bit more mentally prepared to work that hard during the week. Even if it is rewarding, it can feel challenging, especially in the winter.
Actually, I think that's something that we could really follow up on here. Can y'all describe like what an hours plan is, like being a part of AmeriCorps, how that's different than an hourly job? Those are some really distinguishing parts of the City Year experience that I think could benefit our group.
I guess I will go. I think being part of City Year, it's a commitment. It's you have to be passionate about what you do in order to get these things done. So yeah, we do have an hours plan. I don't know if this for everybody else, but if you're doing like a full term, it's 1,700 hours that we have to make. And so I try to at least make 9.5 hours each day. It's very important just to um make sure you're getting those hours in, because if you don't have them, right by the end of the year, it's gonna beat you up. So it's good to like start the year off getting your hours in, and during those doing those oh dang, I can't think of the word. The volunteering, y'all, what's the word? I forgot. Do y'all know what I'm talking about?
The extra hours.
Thank you. Extra hours. Yeah, make sure you're doing extra hours and getting that done, just so it won't beat you down by the end of the school year.
Yeah, I definitely get that, and I same thing. For me, I always ask, who I can, what are my hours? Am I on track? Just to make sure. I don't really like being late, because even if you're 10 minutes, 20 minutes late, that adds up over time. And you have to make sure you meet all your hours before graduation, or you just did a whole bunch of work and you're not going to get your rewards. So if you know you're going to be late, wake up an hour earlier. I do it. I know in the morning I'm not a morning person. I lollygag. I make sure I wake up 30 minutes before just so I know, okay, I gave myself an extra 30 minutes. I know if I miss the bus, I know another bus I can take or something. So I will say make sure you keep track of all your hours. Make sure you ask your manager, how many hours do I have? Am I on track?
I'm just gonna say a piece of advice. If your site offers extra hours opportunities early in the year that like city year staff is running, go to the ones that are early in the year so you have a little bit of cushion if you start falling behind.
Thanks. That is all really great. For those of you who are still kind of understanding what City Year is all about, City Year is an AmeriCorps program, and AmeriCorps requires a certain amount of service hours in order for you to graduate from the program and obtain some of the benefits of being an alumni, such as the Education Award that we talk a lot about. So that's what you're hearing from this group today. As student success coach, their goal is 1,700 hours from the time they start to the time they end. So you do have an hours plan, which is something that it's kind of like your schedule. It's created to make sure that you're on track throughout the year so that you can have all the paid time off that you are owed. And you can also like exit the program having all of those hours under your belt. Thanks you all for like speaking to that. Okay, I think I'm gonna ask like one more question. I'm trying to pick out one that's like really special. I guess, can you tell me a little bit more about how you are supported at City Year? Like, who are the people that you can go to for help? Maybe if you have an example of a challenge that you faced and how you navigated through it. Who are your support system and how are you like best trained to do what you're doing now?
Well, I can kind of answer this. So there was a student in my class who I was having trouble with. Like, he just had a lot of energy. He never really wanted to sit down. He would always daydream and want to go outside and run around. I actually did get a lot of good tips from our I think it's she I don't want to say the acronym, I want to say the full title. Sometimes I forget the full title. She's the learning coordinator. I was gonna say L&D, but that's not what it is. She was a impact manager, and she just did her new. She's in a new position, but she had a lot of different tips that I could do, that I can use to help, and they actually do work. Like um, giving him like a little chart and saying, if he did good or not, and give him stickers, like all types of things. So definitely her and my manager, who is very understanding when I tell her sometimes I need a break, or that, I'm feeling a little burnt out. She's like, okay, if you need to take a minute, you can take a minute. And she understands why, we have good check-ins. Sometimes we check in with my partner teacher if that student is like overwhelming me or the other City Year that is in the room with me. So yeah, I'll say those two people really kind of helped me a lot.
For me, I would say my team comes to me if they're having problems connecting with a student and I'm able to offer tips. But we also have our impact manager who is in the school 2 days a week. And they're there to check in with my team and also myself for anything that I might need. And then we also have our impact director who rotates through the schools. He's in like maybe one school every 3 weeks. And he also checks in with the team leaders and the impact managers to see what they might need. So there's a pretty robust support system.
I would actually say my team members and my service leader. Because I could be dealing with anything, even if it's personal stuff, and they are always there. They're always there to give me tips or help with anything I need.
Thank you so much to our panelists, to our audience. This has been amazing. We're going to finish up with just a few more slides of resources. So I'll pass it back to Molly to close us out.
Thanks, Cassidy, and thanks, panel members. That was amazing. Y'all shared such important insight, and we super appreciate you for joining us for this call. To our attendees, you may find that you still have questions and would like them answered. We are going to have a couple more panels hosted this summer, but just know that you can also just connect with your onboarding counselor anytime. They likely have already been in touch with you, but please feel free to scan this QR code. It'll take you directly to their Calendly link so that you can schedule time with them. Especially just to shout out a question in the chat. If you're not sure if your site does physical training, definitely reach out to your counselor to see if your site offers that. Most sites, I believe, do not offer that. But if you would like details about the kind of why and purpose of that, please feel free to direct that to your counselors. We do have our next event scheduled, so I'll go ahead and just share the date and time with y'all. It'll be April 17th. Check your time zone to see when it'll be hosted. Your onboarding counselor will be in touch to highlight this event and tell you all the details, like how to register and how to join. We'll have a new panel of core members joining from different city or location, so highly recommend you join us. Yeah, I think all we have left is to say thank you. Thank you, panel members. Thanks y'all for joining. Love that we had so many folks attending. We will be sharing the recording out to folks who weren't able to make it for the whole meeting or who weren't able to make this call. So keep a lookout for that. Yeah, again, thanks y'all for joining us. We'll be in touch later and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Take care, y'all.